What's going on, everyone? It's Steeda GT here. I know it's been a minute since we put a video up, but we have a pretty cool install going on today. So let's go take a look. So we have our buddy here, Darren, who is, was it Blue Bandit _ S550? On Instagram. I'll put his name on the video here. But we are doing some suspension mods. I've never done a suspension mod on any of my cars. So we have here the Steeda Progressive springs. Again, we daily drive this thing, so I'm not planning on dragging it or anything like that, so I'm really looking for a little bit of extra comfort. I never test drove the PP1. Once we got it, it was a little bit rougher of a ride than I would have liked, especially with it being a family car. So really hoping that with the Progressive springs, that will help smooth that out a little bit, and also just get rid of that monster truck look to it. At the same time, we picked up some 25mm spacers. I think these are the Eibach version of those. And then we also have the Steeda IRS subframe alignment kit that we're going to put on here. So I don't plan on doing anything about camber. Alignment should be good with these. And then one small mod to do when we put the tires back on is just switch to the black lug nuts. So all this should be going on today. So you haven't probably seen it, but out here we have the Blue Bandit. Show you a little bit about this. So this is a 2018, so this is the Lightning Blue. Just as a reminder, mine's a 19 with the Velocity Blue. And I'll see before I leave if we can get a side-by-side of these so you can kind of see the difference. But this thing, this car definitely does go to the drag strip. He just has the OEM wheels on now, but he does have a drag setup. But he's dropped, I believe, on the Sport lines by Eibach. It's got long tube headers, E85 tune. He's in E85 right now, so he's tuned, I believe, by Palm Beach Dyno. So, to each their own. Everyone has a different setup. I'm definitely not into racing, so I haven't done some of the tunes and things like that. He's got the calipers here painted, which look really good. So yeah, so that is the Blue Bandit. Hopefully you'll see maybe some more content of this car on the channel, and maybe I'll probably at some point head to the strip with him. Not necessarily to take my car on the strip, but just to get some video and get some other cool content on here. So I don't think we're going to do necessarily like a full how-to install guide on this. We're kind of crunched for time, but I will try and take some video just to show. I know there's a lot up there, and maybe I'll even put a card, if I can, to Xander 13's video on installing springs. He does a lot of those instructional videos, and he does really good content, so I don't necessarily need to add more to it. But yeah, so we're getting started on that, and hope you like the video. Hey everyone, so it's the following day from spring installs. So I wanted to get the car back kind of in the same position, roundabout, from when we did the first walkthrough. Got the car all clean, so it'll look really good. So we'll flip it around here. Obviously nothing changed from the front here, so huge change from the side. And I'll walk around, make sure that the sun's not messing this up. So we have a 1 1/8 drop, so 1.125 on the front. Again, these are the Steeda progressives. We have a 1-inch drop on the back, and it looks awesome. At the same time, we installed 25mm spacers from Eibach on both sides, on both the front and the back, and the stance to me is awesome. At the same time, on the rears here, we installed the I think it was the IRS subframe kit to help keep everything in line. We did have a little issue where so in that kit there's 4 like black tubes, basically plastic tubes, and 2 are meant, they all go in the rear, but there's the front and the back of the rear, and we've received 3 fronts and 1 rear, so hopefully Steeda will get that taken care of. But car's still drivable, it's not a big issue. See, that stance changed big time. Was iffy at first on if the spacers was too much on the back, but I don't doubt that at all. I'll definitely leave it like this for sure. So not only does the car look 100% better, so the way I described it to Darren, Blue Bandit _S550, who really, he's the one who did the install. I tried to help as much as I could, but I was more or less just in his way. So the way I described it to him, the look, as far as the stance and the spacers, 100% better. I absolutely love it. For handling, they're springs, they're progressive springs. I would say about a 65% increase in handling. It really just feels like it is glued to the ground for sure. It's almost like, so I always drive around in with the steering mode in normal, and it's almost like if I leave it in normal, which it still is, that I put it in between of normal and sport. So the sport, definitely the steering tightens up a lot, so it's almost like with the springs on normal, it's less than the sport as far as tightness, but more than the normal. So I think that's really good. And finally, one of the big things I was hoping for with this was to make it just a little bit smoother. I know that's more shock, stress, that kind of thing that smooths out the ride and makes it less bumpy. But I talked to several people who had these installed, and they swore that on their PP1s, it actually smoothed out the ride a little bit. And I'll agree that about, I'd say 35% better. Obviously you can't get rid of bumps completely. It's just impossible with the way roads are. But for sure, it's definitely a little bit smoother going over those bumps, a little less jerky. So I am completely satisfied. Again, the car's just cleaned. If anyone, I know this is kind of off topic, but if anyone's wondering what was used, so I have actually different Vivash Auto Care products than I previously reviewed. So here's my little bucket here. So they just released a new ceramic shampoo, and since I have the car ceramic coated, I've been using this. I think it does just as good of a job as their premium wash and wax. It's probably a little bit thicker in my opinion. But what I've found that I really like is this tire and trim gel. So that's basically like the shine that I had on the tires. There's no splatter to it. It's pretty thick when you put it on, and it lasts. Actually, it was still really on the tire from the last time I washed it. But at the same time, it says trim, so you can actually use it on the trim in the car. And I probably detailed the inside of the car. Sorry, it's hot out here. Probably over, I don't know, a month or so ago, because we went on vacation, and I did it a little bit before that. But one of the things I really noticed when I used it was, I know it's a little dusty in here, I never realized all the sparkles that were in the trim around the radio here. And if anyone's wondering about this thing here, yes, actually Darren, the guy who we saw earlier in the video, he has the foreskin device and hooked me up with this for the startup logo, as well as I can keep my fog lights on with the brights. So he did that. But I was really happy with the way it shined things up, even up here on the dash. So maybe I'll do another review of some of the newer products that have come out, because they're actually going to release some more. So today's June 6th, so there's still some more products that they're going to be releasing sometime this month. So I'm really happy with their product and how it shined up. So maybe look forward to a review on that. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of point that out with that tire and trim gel. It really brought out some shine in here, and it actually reminds me of the paint in my Fusion, which is Tuxedo Black Metallic. It just has a lot of, it's got purples and blues and green sparkles in it. So yeah, otherwise, you know, this video was really more about the spring. So I'll do one more walk around and try and show all the different views. Again, we're running 25mm spacers on the front and the back with Steeda progressive springs. 1 1/8 drop in the front and a 1-inch drop in the back, along with the and I think it's the IRS subframe. I forget exactly what the kit's called, that go into the rear to help keep it aligned. Almost similar to the BMR lockout kit, but not quite the same. But again, I'm not a huge fan of super slammed and dropped cars and things like that. But I really think that the minimal drop I got in here is perfect for what I was looking for, as well as increased drivability. Like I've said many times, this is my daily driver. I mean, maybe it will go to the track. I don't plan on it being a normal track car. I don't plan on really doing anything performance-wise, no tunes, none of that, until my warranty is up. So that's, you know, 2.5 years from now. So anyway, really happy with the car. I love it. We drove our Fusion down to Destin, Florida. So I'm in St. Louis. That's about a 13-hour drive, and I wish we could have taken this. It's much more comfortable. One, I didn't want to put the miles on it. Two, I didn't want to shove the kids in the back of this for such a long drive. And in retrospect, this thing would have, even not lowered, this thing would have just been destroyed with all the, you know, weird angles of roads and you know, dips and stuff. It just would have, I would have come back with a beat up car and been very unhappy. So I think that concludes the video. So again, if you're looking for how to install the springs, I'd really refer you to Xander 13. He's really got some of the better install videos, more in depth. He knows what he's doing, so it's easier for him to show how to install it, rather than where Darren was, for the most part, doing the install for me. So shout out to Darren. So like and subscribe, please. Don't know what more content's coming. I think like a small mod I want to do here shortly is to fix the horn. I don't know if you've heard, but the 1819, they removed the low tone horn, so there's usually a high tone and a low tone. So the horn on the 1819 sucks. It's actually quite embarrassing, to be honest, to drive such as a badass car and, you know, kind of have a horn that sounds like a Roadrunner. So that might be, it's like a $25 mod and 10 minutes to install. So super simple. I don't know, we'll see. Not too concerned about that. Hood struts, not too concerned about that. Not doing anything under the hood. Just want to enjoy the car, enjoy the summer. So anyway, I appreciate your time for watching the video, and take care. Peace out.